Now, during this next presentation, I'm going to talk to you about a job description and, more importantly, explain how you can understand the job description in greater detail. This will have a number of benefits, not only in terms of applying for a job and completing the application form, but also in terms of before you go along to the interview. So it will allow you to prepare for the interview in a more concise and appropriate manner. Now, a job description is exactly what it says. It's a description of the job that you are applying for. Now, it's not unreasonable for any employer to say to you at interview, have you read the job description? Can you tell me what it consists of? Many people who apply for jobs fail to even get hold of a copy of the job description. They will see the job advertised and they will think to themselves, right, I'm going to apply for that job. And they won't even look at the person specification or the job description. They will just look at the title. So, for example, here we see the title on this job description example as being marketing assistant. They think to themselves, yeah, this is a great job, it's right up my street, so I'll apply for it. The first thing that you need to do is to actually get a copy of the job description for the role you're applying for, and you can do that in a number of ways. The most obvious way is to go on the website of the company that you're applying for, and they should have a copy of the JD or job description there on the site in the careers section. If they don't, then I would contact the human resources department or the company and actually ask for a copy of the job description, because it will allow you to prepare more thoroughly. So basically, a job description example, you've got the title there at the top, so it needs to state clearly exactly what the title is. It then states who you will be reporting to, and in this case it will be directly to the marketing manager, so you know and understand your clear lines of communication. It will then explain the department or the location of the role. In this case it's the marketing department in Swindon. Now we then look at the main purpose of the job, and the main purpose of the role is to plan and carry out marketing activities so as to maintain and develop sales of company products to UK customers in line with business plans. So you there have a clearly defined role. Your role in that job will be to plan and carry out marketing activities. So you'll be active in the market, so that you can maintain and develop sales, company sales, and also products to UK customers in line with business plans. So it would not be unrealistic to expect you to get a copy of the business plan in that role for the organisation, so you know what it is you are trying to achieve. So the main purpose in a job description needs to be simple but also concise, and clearly lay out what the person is required to do. Okay, and then you get into basically the crux of the role, and it's basically the meat on the bones. We're going to look at the duties and responsibilities, and these should be identified clearly. And you'll see here in this case that it's done with a number of bullet points. So the first one is plan and carry out marketing activities to agreed budgets, sales volumes, values, product mix and timescales. And these will be agreed during the appraisal. So when you're new in this role, you will obviously have an appraisal after, say, 6 months, or it might be sooner because it's new, or even 12 months, periodic timescales to agree the budgets. You'll have to develop and implement ideas for marketing to major customers. So it's not unrealistic for the interviewer, when you go along, for them to say to you, what ideas do you have for marketing to major customers? Okay, because that's part of the job description. So it's up to you to develop and implement the ideas, and the employer at interview will naturally want to know what your ideas are. Develop and produce marketing communications and press releases. So again, they might ask to see a copy of a previous press release, or give us an example of when you've already carried out a press release in a previous role. Plan and coordinate all trade show and event activities, ensuring plans are communicated to relevant personnel. So that's going to involve a lot of effective organisational skills, and they may want to see examples of where you've carried out this kind of activity in the past. Monitor and report on activities and provide relevant management information, and that's basically communication skills. You know, are you capable of reporting to your line manager, in this case the marketing manager? Liaise with external agencies to carry out market research, competitor analysis and customer surveys. So you'll be required to liaise with external agencies, and again, it wouldn't be unrealistic for them at interview to say to you, can you give us an example of where you've had to deal with external agencies? What are the kind of things that you would consider? Liaise and attend meetings with other company departments as necessary to perform duties and aid with business development. So you'll have to attend meetings. Have you been to meetings before? Have you actually undertaken notes during the meetings? Assist the marketing manager with managing the contracts with external agency and being nominated point of contact, so gain a high level of responsibility. You'll also be required to attend training and to develop relevant knowledge and skills, so they may want to see evidence at interview of where you've carried out continuous professional development. And then maintain the computerized customer database. So you should in this role have experience of being able to deal with and maintain a database. So you might have to come up with examples of that during an interview. And then it moves on to the scope or the scale of the role. So you will have a budget of £20,000 to manage. So you will obviously need to demonstrate at interview some form of previous cash management or budget management experiences, and also again the management of a database. In this relation you will have 7,000 customers to deal with, and then it'll explain the salary and the benefits. The salary is £18,000 per annum. You'll have 25 days holiday, occupational pension scheme, there'll be life assurance, and also childcare vouchers. So that's a very simple job description. Job descriptions don't need to be in depth and in detail unless the role specifically requires that. Okay, but a job description is one of the first documents that you should obtain when you're applying for a role. If you are an employer, then you should create a job description for every role that you are advertising, or for every role within your organization. If you don't have these, then how can the person who you're employing be expected to carry out the role in line with certain guidelines? So for more examples of job descriptions, person specifications, and also how to pass any kind of interview, please visit careervids.com. Thank you very much for watching.